Alright, so then we go to the first level, and then here we open up the component tool and then select the model in place. Alright, then from this menu in the family category and parameters, we select the stairs and then click on OK. After that, I'll select the sweep blend tool and then sketch path, and then in the plan we draw from this ox here to this corner, and then we start the rotation, and then we go to here. Alright, cancel this. Once again, click on this ox as the base, and then we go here. Let me just cancel one more time. Alright, and there we go. After that, we'll go to the 3D view, and then I'll finish this up. After that, I'll select profile 1 and then edit profile, and then I'll select the rectangle, I'll draw one over here, and there we go. Then we use the measure tool and put the scale on 1/10. Cancel this, then we measure from here to here and here, then equalize. Alright, then we continue this up to this point and put in 600 for this one, and set the height on, let's say, 200. Alright, then after that we'll finish this up and then select profile 2 and edit profile, and then we'll repeat the same process for this side as well. So draw the rectangle and then select the measure tool, hit tab, then click on this and this one. Alright, then equalize these. Then we go from here to this point. Alright, then select this and bring it down here. Cancel this one. So let me just select the measure tool again and then try again. Alright, so equalize these and then draw from this point to up here. Then I'll select it because we want to put the distance on 600. Alright, so once again, let's select the measure tool and go again. So click on these 3 points and then equalize. After that, we'll bring this up to here as well. Alright, so I'll just select this one first and then put the height here on 200, and then after that I'll just measure this part again. So we go from here to here. Alright, so then let me just select this and shorten it a bit. There we go. So delete this one. Alright, so we bring this up to this point and then put it 600 for the length. Alright, so then do the same for the other side. So bring this up to this point and then put in 600. Alright, then I'll move this up for 5 meters. So now let's just take a look at it from the back view. So select it and then move it down here. Then finish it up. Alright, so cancel this and there we go. Now I'll just hit VV to open up the visibility graphics menu, and I'll check the stairs box. And now we can see the stairs. Then edit in place and then assign a material to this one. For example, name it concrete. Then finish this up. And then I'll make this one transparent so we can see the rebar inside of it. And OK. Alright, so after that, I'll go to the first level and make a cut right here. It goes from here to here. Now let's open it up. And it's right here. I'll select it, and from the rebar tool, I'll select this rebar. Let's just do something else first. Let's go here and select the cover. Let's say, for example, this one, the 20 millimeters. Alright, then select the rebar tool again. Select the, for example, type 14 and then put it right here. Then I'll select the rebar over here and bring this inwards a bit from this side and then this lower bit down here. Then we go to the 3D and put the visibility on solid. Alright, so now I'll select the distribute tool again, then select this surface right here, then hit escape twice. Then on this SOFISTIK distribute window that opens up, we can go to the parallel tab and put this on maximum spacing, which is going to be each 300. Then OK. And this is what it looks like. You can see exactly how the rebars have been distributed in these stairs. So now I'll just hit Ctrl Z. Or if you want to do this using a much simpler approach, we can go here and select the face rebar tool. And then we can select the surface, which is going to be this one. And then this window pops up. Here you have two options, main direction and transverse. First, I'll go to the main direction and put the layout on maximum spacing and the justification on center. Then put the spacing itself on each 200 millimeters using the type 14 rebar. We'll just leave the offset for now. Then here in the transverse section, we'll put in the same 200s for the spacing and select the type 16 rebar here. And then OK. And now they've been placed like a mesh in these stairs. If I select the visibility and click OK, you can see exactly how it looks. So we could have actually approached these two as two separate items, and the reason that it looks all mashed up is because of the structure and the complexity of it. It's all twisted. You should note that in the newer versions of the Revit file, you can use the freeform rebar option here for twisting surfaces like these. So now I'll just select these and delete them, and then we have our rebar right over here. So now let's just go back to the first level. Here I'll just click on section box for this part, and then we open it up. So here we have the rebar support, which has been added to the 2021 version of the Revit file as a default, but you can't really find it in the older versions, but you can create it using the SOFISTIK reinforcement. So here I'll click on insert, then here we'll select the rebar type, which is going to be 14, then put in 500 for segment A, and then 300 for segment C. After that, we have the top cover offset, which are going to put on 10 millimeters for now. Let's just change it to 50. Alright, so let's go with 30. There we go. And then click on OK. And as you can see, this is where it's been placed. And if I actually rotate this, you can see it in the plan. It's right here. Wherever you use cuts, it selects that as a surface, and that's why we can see it